Hey you guys, how's it going? Welcome to this Tuesday episode of SpaceX in the News. Glad to have you here with me today. Of course, I'm Kevin. And this is going to be more of a relaxed episode. For the first time in a long time, we don't have any Starship news to discuss. Although there are road closures currently in place for Highway 4 down there in Boca Chica, Texas, we're going to save what we do have for Friday's episode, and hopefully we'll have more to talk about. So we'll be focusing today mostly on Starlink. I hope that doesn't disappoint you. This is SpaceX in the News after all, not Starship in the News. And the reason for this, Elon Musk explained on Friday, is that SpaceX is reprioritizing their efforts to cyber defense and overcoming signal jamming with Starlink, which will cause delays in Starship and Starlink version 2. Some Starlink terminals near the conflict areas of the Russian-Ukraine war were being jammed for several hours at a time. SpaceX's latest software update bypasses the jamming. He's curious to see what's next. And in a way, this is free quality assurance. And yeah, that's one way to look at it, as a half-full kind of perspective. If you're not exactly caught up on what's going on at the moment as far as geopolitics is concerned, Russia invaded Ukraine and Elon Musk sent a bunch of Starlink terminals over there to help out the civilian population. And now that SpaceX and their Starlink satellites are the only non-Russian means for the Ukrainian people to communicate, they have been attacked by the Russian government over the last couple weeks or so. But despite doing this, Elon Musk is standing by his position as an anti-cancel culture advocate or free speech absolutist. Starlink has been told by some governments, not Ukraine, to block Russian news sources. We will not do so unless at gunpoint. So I thought this was a very admirable position for Elon to take, especially in our day and age when everyone's getting canceled or silenced for just disagreeing with the narrative at the time. Yes, Russia is known for putting forth propaganda, but as we've seen from the beginning of this conflict, Ukraine hasn't exactly been innocent in this. You chalk it up to fog of war, but there have been plenty of stories that we've heard over the past couple of weeks that have been pro-Ukrainian that only turned out to be false. So a lot of free speech advocates like myself and Elon Musk have stood by our position that the best thing to do is just let everybody have the microphone and you decide for yourself who can be believed, who's telling the truth, who's not. Because if you just take one side and you silence the other side, then you're only hearing what certain people want you to hear. It's COVID all over again, which magically happened to stop since this war started. And Space News just reported that yesterday Gwen Shotwell had an interview with Caltech, and she said, quote, "I think the best way to uphold democracies is to make sure we all understand what the truth is." So that kind of plays into what we're talking about here. You don't want to just get all your information from one side of any kind of situation. She also went into more detail about how SpaceX has been trying to work with the Ukrainian government over the past, couple months to get Starlink operational in that country. But it wasn't actually until Russia invaded where SpaceX got the green light from Ukraine to go ahead and send terminals over there and allow access. We're going to continue talking about the Russia-Ukraine thing here, but really quick, SpaceX is targeting tomorrow about 8:45 a.m. Eastern time to launch their next Starlink mission. So I want you to be aware about that, and I will be going live for it on Rumble, where I'm sure we'll probably have more to discuss concerning this whole Russia-Ukraine thing that we're going to talk about a little bit more right now. So Dmitry, who's the head of Roscosmos, the Russian space agency, was asked, will, under the world's current circumstances, Anna be flying on SpaceX's Crew 5, or will she be flying on Soyuz? And Dmitry responded, I think that soon no one will fly anywhere at all, because with such aggression on the part of the Americans in regard to Biden's sanctions, they will have nowhere to fly. I mean, we all understand the glaring problem with this statement, but in one aspect, he may not be entirely wrong. If you're not aware, which I'm sure the majority of you are, I think it was either this morning or yesterday, U.S. gas prices hit an all-time record high at $4.17 a gallon. The previous record was $4.10 a gallon during the 2008 recession. And guess what? This is not going to just affect you at the gas pump. Like it or not, our country runs on fossil fuel. It's like 70% of our total energy comes from natural gas or petroleum. Sadly, only 9 or 10% comes from nuclear power, which is what I advocate for. And about the same with coal and renewable energy. Even those of you who own a Tesla still have to charge it. And like I just discussed, that's probably not by windmills. Our country runs on oil. If the price of gas goes up, the price of everything goes up. Because that's how we transport things around the country. And that includes things like rocket fuel or rocket parts, computer chips, anything that SpaceX may need to get to orbit or put their satellites in orbit. Which is why Elon probably twatted on March 4th that he'd hate to say it, being, the world's most leading renewable energy guy, that we need to increase oil and gas output immediately.
If there was a button I could press to stop all hydrocarbon usage today, I would not press it.
If you're not aware, the first thing Joe Biden did once he got into office was completely destroy our energy independence and make us dependent on other countries like Russia for their oil. He canceled the Keystone pipeline like day one, but then went ahead and approved Russia's Nord Stream 2 pipeline to Germany. The same Germany, by the way, that just shut down half of their remaining nuclear plants. I think they're down to 3 now. Hopefully it is now extremely obvious that Europe should restart dormant nuclear power stations and increase power output of existing ones. This is critical to national and international security. Look, the reason I'm talking about this is because it's that important. As a lot of you guys know, I've been trying to ring the alarm bells for like the past 2 years, ever since, the pandemic started and the BLM rats were burning everything down. I saw the direction our country was heading and I tried to wake people up. And a lot of people didn't like it, but tough. Look at where we're at now, guys. Look where we're at now. We have gone over that cliff. And a lot of us who have been paying attention know what all this is really about. I hinted at it in a last live video that I did during an Elon's Based Twat segment. And during tomorrow's live Starlink launch on Rumble, I'll go into a little bit more detail about this as well. We'll talk more about this. Listen, I get it. I understand why people don't like talking about politics. They rather just focus on space and, be excited about the future. But it's the very thing I've been warning about is you can't just withdraw yourself from politics, because then that just leaves the door open to ignorant fools leading our country down a dangerous path. The smart ones who know what's going on and yet choose to remain silent are the reason why we are in the position we're in. I hated Donald Trump and his mean tweets, which is why I elected some corrupt, build back better, great reset, senile douche in office. Even Elon Musk is bringing up ESGs now, which is a topic I spoke about in a Cloudlicker video over the summer. Seriously, there's a link in the description below. Go check out my Cloudlicker channel and you'll see from last year there are tons of videos that I did about these kind of topics that are now here on our doorstep. Honestly, I try my best to wake people up because I believe that if reasonable people stay silent, then the world's just going to continue to descend into chaos, which is exactly what's happening. And it's only going to get a lot worse. I'm not pro-Russia. I said it before. I'm pro-Ukrainian people. But all of a sudden, we have all these woke companies canceling Russia. And Biden just today said that he's not going to work with the Russians and take their oil anymore. Instead, he's opting to buy oil from Iran and Venezuela. Yeah, good call there, dude. Let's go ahead and keep pissing off Russia, who's a nuclear power. In the meantime, we'll now get our oil from a regime that throws gay people off roofs and a socialist dictator who's letting his people starve to death and eat their pets. You guys have a great rest of your day and work week. I hope I didn't depress you too much. That's not my goal. It's the educator in me. I just want to, inform people and try my best to wake them up because this stuff is important. And like I've been saying repeatedly over the past couple of years, politics does affect space. So we have to pay attention. We have to. You got to do your own research. You got to stop listening to the mainstream media. Say no to cancel culture so you can get both sides of the argument on any topic and pay attention. So I'll see you guys on Rumble tomorrow for the live video. Until that time, Godspeed.